Morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening. So, where I left off last time. See, Photoshop's acting strange. I'm going to shut it down, restart it. It's not liking the stream. So, what I decided last time, let me open up the sheet for this. So, we're going to use this sheet, which is a bunch of tiles. Each of the tiles are 8 by 8 in size, so they're uniform. And we're going to reconstruct the animation for this guy using a grid system for the player. So we're going to have a double index for the grid information. It's going to be the tile and its starting position for that tile, the top left corner, in the so the pixel information for that tile in the atlas, and then also we're going to give it a row and column for the recreation. And then that should give us our animation. So yeah, this is acting up. So I think for the player bounds, if we look at this, we decided that it's going to be, I think a 4 by 2 is the max. 4, 2, 4. So I think for the rows, it's going to be, it could be a 3 by 4. So actually it could be 4. So we'll do a 4 by 4 as the I just want to get these legs running and have them be placed accurately. So I think I'm not sure where these should go, but let's just say we have a 4x4 region. We'll just put the legs right here for now. So this will be the starting spot. This frame, this frame, this frame, and this frame. So do the second row and the first column. And each frame has a tile, so we need a sprite frame. Let's give it a series of tiles, and then the texture that we're going to use for it. So let's pass in the texture. Let's do something like this. So we'll pass in our texture, which is the hero sheet atlas, and then just a series of frames. And I'm going to make this just a varied argument. It's going to be four tiles that we define for that frame. And the way it's going to be is we're going to look in here and get a row and column for this frame. So it's 0, 0. So this should be a vec 4, because each of the tiles is going to be, yeah. So it's going to be 0, 0. Maps to this guy, and then inside of here we decided it's going to be 2, 1 for that frame, and then the 0th row, next column, 2, 2, 1, 0, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 2. That should be it. I just want to attain C enlightenment like you. Just years of banging your head against a wall and then working on it. Honestly, I think C is much easier to do or to use than most higher level languages today. I think the thing that trips people up are pointers for the most part. Once you can wrap your head around pointers and memory manipulation, then all this other stuff kind of is really easy. Where do I use? So what I want to do is pass in varied arguments, variadic arguments rather, for all the vec4s. They're going to go for the frames. What's hard for you to? Can't wrap my head around CMake. Oh, CMake? Yeah, that's its own language. And I'm fairly decent at CMake. That's what I use for Njon for its build system. But my build systems now have nothing to do. I don't use CMake. I don't use any build systems. I just write batch files for Windows to build, and then I write bash files on Linux and Mac. Much simpler, much more straightforward than having to deal with some custom or some third-party build system. Let's see. GS print line. Let me find out where that is. So we get an args list, and then we pass in the arguments into, yeah, some variadic function. So I probably want to do something like this for this guy. So we actually have, I might need to look this up real quick, where we actually create a new sprite frame. And then this one will be like this. Do this, and then we pass in. Let me look at the actual printf. Let me see. Yeah, so it'd just be something like this. Hey, Unity. Today might be a little shorter today, guys. I'm doing this during my lunch break, but I have a doctor's appointment. I had a lot of work this morning, so didn't get to start as early as I wanted to. But I'm gonna try and get most of this animation stuff done that I was talking about last Friday. Let me look at this. Because I know I can pass in a variable number of double average, int number, arguments, none. Yeah, so I need actually number of arguments. And then we get that list of arguments, and that gives us a number. And what we're going to do is iterate through, I'm not going to use an integer, let's use an S32, and GS for range number for range I. So this is just a shorthand for a for loop. So this does U32I starting from 0, I less than the given argument, plus I. This effectively works as a for-range operator that you would have in other languages, but it also gives you a variable to be able to index into various things. That's the best way to put that. I don't know. I'm feeling slow this morning, guys. I don't know what's up. Maybe not enough coffee. Let me get back to my chat. All right, there we go. So, looking over here at the documentation for the bars argument. So let's just look at this real quick. So we want number of arguments. We're going to grab that. It's going to pass that into our let's see, arguments. What is arguments here? Didn't even define what this is, but okay. So we'll grab that. Then we're going to pull out our arguments from there. Where's VA start arguments? Okay, cool. So we can do something similar to that here. So we're going to start. So we have a VA list. That's how you actually grab that. We're going to grab the number of arguments. We're going to iterate over that. And then we have v4. So gsvec4. This is our tiled dimensions. I don't know. And that's going to be our VA arg. Yeah. So you pass in the args, and then we're going to pass in. Let's see. No, the function. Huh. VA arg arguments double. So I guess you're telling it what type. Let me look at VA arg real quick. Yeah, you pass on the type. For type expression to be suitable for its use of VA arg, it must be such that the type pointer produces a pointer to that type. So it's going to return a pointer to that. Let's try it. This might not work. So we have the vec4. I don't need that. And we'll grab VMA. So we have our dimensions, frame dot tiles. So we'll push back gs array push the tiles, and we're going to push back the dimensions into that. And then we'll return our frame. So then we should be able to call it with something like this. So we'll pass in the texture. And then, is that how you dereference that? Let me see. No, so I'm doing this wrong. So I'm gonna do this and then call it that way. Let's see if this compiles. Pretty sure that format's correct, but we'll see. From sprite framed int, yes, let's put this up here. Text is undeclared. Why is it undeclared? Also frame dot texture. So I'm gonna need a number of arguments here. Uh, 171. Text is undeclared. Oh yeah. Sprite animation T 182. Do you do C for a living? Kind of. So I write custom tools for work, and I use C for pretty much all of those. But my job right now is actually Java and Kotlin. It's all Android stuff. because they needed a graphics dev. They needed someone who did OpenGL stuff, so I jumped over there after I got laid off it. Sprite animation T, so it's actually sprite frame animation. And then this, we'll have 4. Too many parameters for V2. It's because it's a V4. Frame's not a member, 324. That's right, because it's a... it's not a frame, let's see. Frame animation T frames. So we want a sprite frame. Current frame. What else? Sprites. Why would they lay you off? The company went under. So everyone got laid off. 326. Sprites not a member of, yeah, what is this? Frames, right? Holy God, it compiled. All right. Okay, so let's see. Right, frame T new. So we actually call this. Sprite frame T new, passing the texture, passing the variable arguments, and then we do this. Let me go ahead and we'll print out the size. Make sure that we've actually passed in our dimensions. I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and we'll do this. Let's do it here. Print F, tiles. So we'll have number of tiles, and then we'll do this. All right, and then for each of these, print F, we'll print out the tiles. Oh, this is a number of tiles though. So this should be tile. There we go. Tile dimensions dot x dot y. Oh my gosh. Dot z. There's tile dimensions. Pop that. Yeah. So let's print this out. Syntax missing 165. Figured I messed that up. There we go. That didn't come through. Okay. Let me just run this and oh my God. All right. So the number is not correct. You start num. Oh, idiot. I don't think that was the cause of that though. I think it's probably number 4, 0, 0, 2, and 1. everything's correct. Yeah, 0021. That was the first one. So it pulled the first one out correctly, but it looks like it's having issues pulling more out. Strong feelings towards C programming, almost tribalist. Yeah. Can't stand C++ meta templates. And yeah, I can't either. Graphics somewhat of a niche. It can be. I get job offers almost daily for graphics development, like senior graphics positions. Have any spare time? You keep studying your hobby. It's niche in a good way, you know. It's not going anywhere. So it just depends on what you want to do. I mean, if you're headstrong on wanting to work in games, then yeah, you're gonna have an issue because there's a lot of competition to get into that. So you got to be best of the best. But if you're cool with, yeah, I caught that guess. My keyboard is it's a wireless keyboard, and yeah. I don't know. My mouse and my keyboard are kind of acting weird. I think the stream is lagging it up a little bit. So that's my excuse. Sticking to it. So it's grabbing the number here, and I'm iterating through that, but you know what? I wonder if, hold on, let me look at the documentation again. End args. Jeez, come on. See, like I'm typing as fast as I normally type, and it's not registering. Well, I don't want to spend my entire stream figuring out this garbage. VList, the argument pointer. Yeah, so it should iterate through. But does it do? Yeah, what does it return? Returns the current argument via copy via start via end. Do not return values. Sure. Retrieves value of type that's given by the argument pointer. Increments argument pointer to point to the next argument in the list by the size of the type. Let's see. Can you recommend any source for graphics programming? Yeah. In C. Not off the top of my head, honestly, which is kind of sad. So this is something I've been going back and forth on, is, and I talked to Uniday about this as well. It's one of the guy in my Discords. Which, if you're not in the Discord, by the way, join the. Looks like my stream disconnected for a second. All right, cool. Uh-oh. It might drop again. I don't know. We're having a lot of rain over here right now, so I don't know if that's causing any issues. But anyway, before I got kicked off, like I was saying, I think instead of just continuing to push people to other people's content, I'm considering just doing a game engine series. I'm just thinking about that. How I'd like to structure it, how I'd like to do it. Honestly, the idea of writing another game engine kind of turns me off. I've done it so many times. But it looks like it's back on. Is it back on, guys? Yeah. I'm just going to kill Spotify. I think that's... Really? What's going on? I'm not sure what's going on with the stream, why it's acting up. Cherno needs competition. I like Cherno. So there's a big meme in the Discord about Cherno, and it's just it's funny to me. Cherno's milking it. It's Cherno, and yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stream, guys. Let me go to OBS. This is not how I wanted to deal with my stream. Oh my god. I might have to kill the stream early if it's going to continue acting like this, and then just wait until my internet connection gets better. So maybe I'll jump back on tonight instead to make up for it. Yeah, not much I can do if my connection continues to mess up. I'll keep trying. I've killed Spotify. I've shot down a couple other things, so let's see if that helps the connection. If not, and it keeps dropping, then I'm gonna kill it and jump back on in the evening instead. Stream is fine, just very spotty. Yeah, then it's not fine. I don't want people to have to be annoyed with it jumping around. But yeah, anyway, I've considered doing that, and it seems like people are interested in that, and that way I don't have to continue to point people to other people's videos. I can actually make stuff that the community can kind of follow on my channel. They can be engaged with it. We could have like what I've wanted to do is actually create a community engine and then have, you know, game jams and have people be able to create stuff just like, you know, Java does and Cherno's trying to do with his. But there's really nothing other than Raylib. There's nothing that that's out there for C. And other than, I guess, Handmade is really big on that, and I know Ryan Fleury is doing stuff like that, but there's not that much out there for C, which is unfortunate. So, you know, maybe that's somewhere where I could actually take the mantle, which would be fun. It'd be nice. So get more people interested in doing it. The Cherno meme, he's a character, so people like to point that out. Don't milk it and put it behind paywalls. Like, no, I won't do that. I mean, I'd like to get this to a point where I could monetize it, but I don't know the way that I would do it to where I would feel good about it. I'm not a salesman like he is. I hate sales. So I can't shill myself like that. It's just not in my blood. I wish I could to an extent. I mean, good on him for being able to do it, but I don't know how to try to monetize it though. But the idea would be to be able to have it somewhat sustainable so that I'm making at least something off of it. So I can continue to do it, you know. You got to pay the bills, so. And if I'm splitting my time between my 9 to 5 and this, then this is never going to go anywhere, so. Reality of life, kids. All right. So anyway, this is not doing what I wanted. Let me. This lag is killing me. Let me go ahead and print this out as well. And I just want the ith. Yeah, some bad practice. I don't like C++. And you know, take that for what it is. I don't like it. So that's my only thing, is I don't want to follow around with him because of that. There's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that are questionable with no, well, yeah, let's just pop. God, yeah, let's pop it open. Tiles. Wait, what was that? Did that start at 4? All right, stop it. Close. I always have trouble following on with using WinAPI. Yeah, that's another thing, is that I wouldn't be completely against using libraries. There are certain things that I would insist on writing ourselves because they're important to know. Writing the platform layer by yourself, there's certain things that I think are important, other things that I think aren't necessarily important. I don't think it's necessarily important to learn how to use the WinAPI. Casey believes that. That's fine. I think it's a waste of time. So stuff like that I don't think is important. And it's frustrating, and it doesn't get you to the point that you're actually interested in, which is setting up the game engine to be used for actual production. It's just dealing with WinAPI and it's shit. So, but one thing we wouldn't use a math library. We'd write our own math library. So you learn how to do that. A lot of the containers and other utils just don't exist in the C standard library. So you'd have to write those. Reflection is something you'd have to do. Introspection. I mean, there's a lot, without having to write your own. And even then, the platform layer has to be abstracted to some point, right? So, I mean, it's not like you wouldn't have a custom platform layer anyway. So we would have to do that as well. You just wouldn't have to directly write Win API code. Although the way I like to set it up is that you could if you wanted. So if you look at something like GS Platform, which GS, this is Gunslinger. This is my game framework that I've been working on for past 6 months, a little longer. This is what I've used for all the videos, like the Noita videos and all that kind of stuff. So again, this is the platform layer that I use. It uses glifw as the default platform, so it's very similar to, it's actually exactly the way that Raylib does it. But it has the ability, if you look at this platform interface, you can, this is just a list of function pointers, and you can totally swap this out with your own interface. So I'm not too thrilled about reflection in C, meaning that it doesn't exist, or that you're not excited to learn it. Because, yeah. Reflections, it's fairly easy, honestly. It's just, it's a lot of manual work, but it's easy. So why is this tiles? Let me get rid of that. Get rid of that. Let's just print a line. I don't care. Code separation is much nicer in C++ with classes. That's fine. I think it's overly verbose. I can't stand it. I gave an example of this in the last stream. I won't rehash it again just for the sake of time, but the need to put everything into a class is there's a lot of friction. I don't like it. So it's able to iterate through that one, but it can't do. All right, I'll figure this out later. I'm not sure what's happening here, this variadic argument. So what we'll do for now is, instead of just doing that, we'll just define a new sprite frame. We'll just default arg this guy. And then we'll do frame.texture. GS array push. Let's run. So run 0.tiles. And we'll just do this. Instead of having to figure that out, I can figure that out later. Man, this is killing me. Array, push, thank you. Yeah, I gotta set up these stream settings so that it's not killing stuff like this. Thanks. So that'll be our first frame. Not excited to learn it. I dislike programming, but I like the math behind Ninja Dev. Well, that might be an issue. So running frames, and we're gonna push this. Good lord. Tell you what, I'm disliking programming right now with my keyboard acting up so badly. Alright, and then, okay, so we have the tiles here, no template, metaprogramming. I was taught C++ in uni without classes, without strings, no template metaprogramming. I feel like they taught me, I feel like they taught me C++ wrongly as a joke. Well, that's a problem. That's also a problem with C++, is that there's no quote unquote right way to use it. So you can use it however you want, which as far as I'm concerned, that just means that you can use it incorrectly very many ways. It fails the smell test for decent API design. They taught you C++ the good parts, exactly VMA, which why not just use C? Because there's really only one way to use C, and it's the right way. So just use C. Hey, Lion. All right, so we've got, for those of you who are just joining, so we've defined the animation, so it's going to be a running animation, and we've defined our first frame. How about that? So frame is going to be split up into tiles. So the tiles are going to index into the row and column for the atlas texture that we give to the frame, and it's going to index into our sprite bounds to reconstruct it for the player. This all makes sense here in a second. The reason we're doing this is because the tiles are uniform. They're also split up into 8x8 tiles, and we have to reconstruct the character from this tile set. So that's what I'm doing now. And I'm hoping to get at least the first tile on the screen correctly in the correct spot for the player. So we have the player's origin. Let's just say it's, let's just say, we'll just make it the actual origin, right? So we have the origin. Now for this particular frame, we have a bunch of tiles, right? And for each of those, we're going to have to create new quads in our quad badge. You haven't seen me program in C if you think it's only possible to do it the right way. Well, I'll say there's only one way that works, right? The other way is segfault. So I guess that's what I mean. I don't know, maybe this is my, I like Pascal, C's the one I use. Yeah, me too, Don. Don, weren't you the one that does, don't you do embedded, if I remember? I don't know, maybe I like C because I treat it the exact same way as I do firearm safety, right? Like I own a lot of firearms, so it's like, aren't you afraid of shooting yourself? It's like, well, no, not if I don't shoot myself. I'm not afraid of it. Use them correctly. Vec3 origin. So again, we have this particular frame, yes. We only have one for now. This frame has tiles, so what we're going to do is iterate over the tiles. Is that correct? Or do we iterate over the bounds? So let me think about the best way to do this. Because this can't be zero information. So we know that it's a 4x4 area that needs to be filled. Come on. Lord. Thank you. So it's going to be this 4x4 area. These are all going to be set to -1 by default. So let's just call it a 4x4 for now, because GS vec4 sprite bounds is it's actually not a vec4. It's going to be 4x4, so it's F32 sprite bounds. It's going to be 16 total grids in the matrix. And we'll just 0 initialize that. and then we'll mem set everything in sprite bounds to -1. Actually, I don't think you can do that. You can't do a floating mem set. Where's my mouse? Oh man. Int value, yeah. So it's integer. It just fills a block of memory, but it is an integer, so we can fill it to -1. So memset sprite bounds -1, and size of f32 times 16. So we will memset those bounds so that we have, again, this grid that we're setting up. Why do you prefer Windows over Linux? Because I don't have Linux on my desktop. That's all. I've said before, like, I won't switch to Windows 10 because I don't like it. I like C, but I also have vivid memories of intermediate programming with Brazil. He's a UTA student. I'm gonna assume, yeah. So why do you prefer Windows over Linux? A lot. Well, I mean, part of me does because of familiarity. But I don't mind Linux. I don't mind using it. I'm probably gonna switch to it instead of Windows 10. So we've filled out this matrix with -1s, and then what we're gonna do is iterate over for range I the size of our tiles for this particular sprite frame. We're going to grab the tile dimension, which I don't think I defined that. Yeah, it's just vec4 tiles. Grab that. That's just a dynamic array of sprite 4. So it's that GS texture text equals tiles at I. Jesus. I totally messed that up. It's the frames texture, tiles at I is our dimensions. So we should be able to, all right, now we gotta do some math. The see the first so it's row and column. Man. So X is going to be the column of texture. Y is the row of the texture. Z is the column of our bounds, and then W is the row of bounds. So F32, and this is all to define this UV. Because it's got to be placed, we're going to be moving this quad's position in relevance to the player bounds, and also its UV is going to be in relevance to where it indexes into the texture. So little confusing, but once we get it going, I can start cleaning it up. Right now, I'm really just kind of figuring it out as I go. Tiles 0 0. I'm not even sure if I did this right. So 0 0 0 1. That should be 1 0. 2 2 1. That should be 1 2 2 2 1 3 0 1 1 1 2 3. So that's actually column and then row. That way it makes sense whenever I do this. So we have the texture. We want to pull. So we have our width and the height of the texture for that particular frame. We're iterating through the tiles. I don't need to do this. Okay, so we want the need UV information for tile and the texture, and then need position information. This is going to be world position information. For tile using player bounds. Okay. So, player's origin is going to be there at 0 0 0. We're going to treat that as the bottom left corner. And then from here, the spans are going to go up 8 pixels. They're going to go over 8 pixels. And in order to retrieve the world coordinates for any given tile, which we're going to treat as a uniform quad, we're going to look at the row and column for, I mean, actually, yeah, we could just do this. We don't even have to do this whole bit. This is wasted memory. We'll get rid of that. We'll just look at the row and column. So that'll place us where we want to be placed in offset to the origin of the character, which would be the bottom left for the bounds. And then we get the image using the exact same way with the same offset, using that to determine the UV information. So I'm going to do this what am I trying to say? We're just going to do it hard-coded for now, just right here, and then we'll devise a better way to do it. So X is our column of our texture. So F32, we'll call this the left. Yeah, so we'll need left, top, right, and bottom for our UVs. And then for our quad's position, we need an X and a Y. And then we'll feed that into our quad that will then pass into our quad batch. Wonder why nobody mentions these applications of math to motivate students. Because most math teachers are terrible. That's why. Which this should be so we have our width and our height. This is going to be defined by the width. For the top left, we know that it's going to be the dims.x. Okay. divided by the width of our texture. And okay, so that's an F32, good. And we know the top is going to be our dims.y divided by the height. And we know that our right is going to be L plus, actually this is times the sprite column span, and this is the sprite row span, right? And then we have L plus dims.z times sprite column span, and divide that by the width, because those are in pixels. And then it's going to be our bottom plus, this is not dims x, dims z, dims.w times sprite row span divided by the height. That should give me that UV information. And then for the world position, what we'll need to do is take the origin, origin.x, origin.y, and we'll go plus and then minus. So we do origin.x, we're going to go over by the sprite column span times let's see. No. So this is, what do you think of John Carmack? The guy's brilliant. Definitely on the spectrum in a good way. I met him once. He's a real nice guy. Very shy. L plus dims.z. It's not dims.z. It's not correct. It's just L plus the, we know the uniform size. So it's this. Right? So L, which is in normalized coordinates, this is not B, this is T, plus our sprite column span divided by the width of the texture, so that gives us a normalized coordinate. The row span divided by height gives us a normalized coordinate. This dimension dot x, that gives us a column that we're interested in, times the span, which gives us a pixel coordinate. Divide that by our width, which then normalizes that UV. Top does the same thing, but for row. Do you lurk G? I don't understand. I'm too boomer for that. I don't understand. I think, okay, I think this is it. So let's fill out our quad and pass it back. So we have default quad information. The UV, again, left bottom, right top, and the position is going to be X, Y, and we're on the 0th plane. Transforms default quad info batch. All right, I guarantee this isn't right, but let's see. Yeah. All right. G is a 4chan board, I believe. Oh, I have no idea. For tech, yeah, the tech board. No, the only thing I'll get reference to with 4chan is like memes. I'll see a funny meme and ask where it's from, and then someone will tell me 4chan. Like, oh, okay. The only social media I really get on is YouTube to watch just various tutorial videos. I watch a lot of woodworking stuff and a lot of home renovation stuff. Now that I'm a homeowner and get more and more into that kind of stuff. and then get assigned projects from the misses, and then Discord. That's about it. Because everything else is just a waste of time. What am I looking for here? No. Man, this mouse acting up is killing me. All right, grab this. Tend to avoid. Yeah, that's fair. Show me all my files, please. Oh, you're going to do this. All right, so get there. Oh, I know what's going on. I know. So we want here. Cool. Yeah, I gotta figure this out. I'm wasting a lot of time just on my keyboard acting up. What time is it? 12. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end here pretty soon. Got my doctor's appointment coming up. Can't miss that. Let's try and get something on the screen. Did we set our... yeah, we have our texture set. So it's not an issue. XY0. I'm surprised I'm not seeing anything. So let me do this real quick. Alright, so I'm not seeing anything. Maybe my tiles is... I might not have any tiles set. Should be interesting. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Come on, keyboard. Now we got 4 tiles. We got all the tiles. So what's up with this? What am I missing here? So the quad info We have a transform. Its position's filled out. Should be. Let's set this manually. Maybe the position's wrong. Come on. I'm adding the quad batch into the QB, set it. Then we submit the quad batch down here into the command buffer. Push this frame into it and push the tiles into the frame. That's set, that's set. Huh. Everything's fine. It's showing me, I don't need this. I'm just setting the position to 0, 0, 0 by default. We're not even iterating over that. Let me just blow up its scale. I don't know, maybe that's... Maybe it's just tiny, I can't see it. No. Huh. I'm not sure, but I've actually got to get going, guys. I have again, my doctor's appointment. Sorry for the stream kind of being choppy and jumping in and out, and also starting a little later today, just with everything going on this morning. So tomorrow should be earlier, hopefully, and won't have to end it as quickly. So let me see if there's anything in the stream, in the chat I need to talk about. All right, cool. But we'll jump back on this tomorrow, and we'll figure this out. And hopefully the stream's better tomorrow. I don't know what's going on with the streaming. Probably just the weather again. But all right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.